Sometimes, when I make a great effort, I can remember her scent, the sweetness of her breath. Serena.
Ja, hallo und ganz herzlich willkommen zu einem kleinen Mini-Let's Play von mir.
Her photo is right there. Maybe I could have another look.
Ja, wir schauen uns das Foto gleich an. Willkommen bei Serena. Es ist ein kleines Indie-Horror-Spiel und es ist kostenlos und ich wollte einfach noch ein bisschen um Halloween herum, ja, sag ich mal, raushauen. Gertrude, das ist Gertrude. Die habe ich verkleidet. Gertrude ist eigentlich eine Kleiderpuppe, die ich benutze, um Klamotten einzustellen.
I know it's pointless, but I need to do it.
Alles klar. Auf jeden Fall wollte ich euch nur mal vorstellen, heute ist sie der Holzfällermörder und da hinten, da ist noch so ein Skelett und da habt ihr noch so ein...
I'm terrified of that photo. But I'll lose my mind if I don't have another look.
Okay, wir gucken uns auf jeden Fall gleich das Foto an, ja? Ich weiß, du willst das sehr hart sehen. Auf jeden Fall, da oben haben wir noch einen kleinen Totenkopf. Ich habe versucht, hier so ein bisschen Halloween in die ganze Geschichte reinzubringen. Ob mir das gelungen ist, weiß ich nicht. Wahrscheinlich eher weniger. Ja, nochmal nur ein kleiner...
One more time.
Wir gucken sie uns gleich an. Nur, dass ihr Bescheid wisst, ich bin noch ein bisschen verschnupft. Ich hatte vor ungefähr einer Woche, ist das jetzt her, hatte ich meinen positiven Test. Seitdem war ich echt am Arsch. Und jetzt geht's mir 2 Tage wieder besser. Ich möchte gerne weitermachen und aufnehmen. Ich kann nicht mehr im Bett liegen. Also bitte habt Verständnis, dass ich dann auch krank mal was aufnehmen möchte. Wir gucken uns jetzt das Foto an.
Serena, why can't I see you more clearly? Why can't I even remember?
Okay.
This was taken on that crisp winter night at our mutual friend's hunting lodge. We came back indoors, laughing, giddy as teenagers. It was truly like an enchanted time, like we were in a magic circle where no sorrow or pain could touch us.
Mm-hmm.
My love, we don't have a lot of photos of ourselves as a couple, so this one is quite important. The guy who snapped this, our host that night, used an actual film camera. It was a different world back then.
Okay.
My love, we don't have a lot of photos of ourselves as a couple.
Also sagt uns nichts mehr.
Serena enjoyed spice in our life. I preferred it more bland. We were so different on some points.
Mm-hmm.
The furniture came with the cabin. Considering how off the beaten path this place is, that helped make up our mind.
Okay, das ist also irgendwo am Arsch der Welt. Und hier war die Inneneinrichtung wohl schon mit dabei. Dann gucken wir uns mal um.
So much wisdom and happiness in this bookcase. My life would have been much poorer without all this.
Life and Death of a Kickstarter Addict. Power of Perseverance. Adventures of a Scary Bear. Storyteller. The Grasshopper Lies Heavy. Collected Works. Also irgendwie, weiß ich nicht.
The smell of old books is intoxicating. What happens to wood pulp as it ages gives it that distinctive vanilla smell.
Findest du?
I loved it when we took down one of my favorites and curled up on the bed to read together as the wind howled outside on cold winter nights. Most of the books are mine, but all of hers are still here too. A lot of rarities and special editions here. I didn't lend out my Necronomicon, did I? No, of course not.
Necronomicon,
most of the
sagst
books
du.
are mine, but all of hers are still here too.
Also das Necronomicon, ein Totenbeschwörerbuch, hast du wohl niemanden ausgeliehen, sagst du? Ich will nicht wissen, was wir hier vorhaben.
Sharing meals with a good red wine was one of the great pleasures in our relationship. especially in the intimacy of this cabin. I should probably eat. Can't remember the last time I ate, yet I don't feel hungry. I have more pressing things on my mind right now than culinary exploits. The stove looks like something from World War I. Considering how basic and ancient the kitchen is, it's a wonder what we managed to do with it from time to time. Well, she mostly.
Feeling peckish, dear?
The stove looks like something from World War I.
Okay.
Sometimes she would brush her leg against mine under the table when we were eating. A curious, sensual thrill. The table is worn but sturdy, just like our relationship was. Or is. I just don't know anymore. Our dining table. Quite modest, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I could tell plenty of stories about this table. To be honest, I'm surprised it's still in one piece. The dining table was well worn even when we acquired the cabin. You could tell from its appearance that it had been the centerpiece of many happy occasions. And there were many more to come. Our dining table. Quite modest, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Kann ich hier irgendwo mir was anschauen? Da oben geht auch, okay.
A lot of rarities and special editions here.
Okay, der wird sich nur wiederholen. The Unfortunate Life of a Chocobo Sage. A Bloody Sabbath, How I Learned the Devil's Music. Light and Dark of the Soul. Englisch. Grammar for Beginners. Sagst du, da hat's dann schon gehapert? Sagst du, wenn solche Bücher zum Lernen benutzt werden, dann läuft das auf jeden Fall. So you want to be a purple tentacle. A night at the fairy grotto. Behind the left-handed arch. The art of drowning. Cabras, lesbians, macabras. Okay. James Kellogg, Portrait of a Serial Killer. Okay.
I still can't understand.
Nicht sehr... Oh Gott, was habe ich da gelesen?
Face feel hazy and distant,
Nochmal,
like
James
remnants of a
Kellogg.
broken dream.
Portrait of a Serial Killer. Aber Serial haben die hier wie Cerealien geschrieben. Bruder, das kam nicht. Da hat mein Hirn lange gebraucht, ey. Dream of Snow, Corridor 9, Dagon for Goats in 24 Hours, Crowdfunding, or How I Met Some Great People and Went Broke.
I didn't lend out my Necronomicon, did I?
Kommt man hier wieder raus? Ja, okay.
No. Of course
In der
not.
Mitte schauen. The things that kept us tired. Common Sense and the other lovely fairy tales. Nephilim, the greatest mystery of the
Somewhere here in her private
antediluvian world.
refuge,
Okay.
there must be something that reminds me of her.
The Howl Strikes Back, the official hint book. Zombie space dinosaurs from the deep ate my family. The St. Christopher's School Lockdown, Blind Earth. Petticritter. Pucks and
I
Drugs.
miss her so much.
Searching
How
for
is it
Dynasty.
possible that
Ode
I
to a
can't remember her
Kumquat.
face?
Encyclopedia Galactica. Dalmar Folklore. Horton Hearst. Some unpleasant truths about himself. Und dann Diary in Diary in America wahrscheinlich. Ach genau, dann stehen hier irgendwelche Sachen. Volume 1. So, gut, genug gelesen hier.
So many afternoons spent in this armchair.
Come sit with me. I want to talk. And cuddle.
Okay.
What did we talk about? Damn this fallible memory of mine. The most comfortable spot in the cabin, well, along with the bed, of course. I can imagine her cuddling up to me even now, putting her hand under my shirt. Of course, we made love here, too. There was no place in the cabin we didn't before things deteriorated.
Okay.
The most comfortable spot in the cabin, Well,
Okay.
along with the bed, of course.
Das mit dem Bild kann man nichts machen? Ich meine, irgendwas, das sagt nichts.
This window never got much attention. Then again, the view isn't nearly as spectacular. Priorities, right? I guess it's covered with grease and grime from cooking, mostly. There's probably nothing out there that I want to see, anyway. All the stuff I care about is inside. Well, except for Serena. I can make out nothing through this window. There was a time, long ago, that all this disrepair felt oddly homey. All the windows are drafty, but like everything else, we just got used to it. We liked it, even. I can make out nothing through this window.
Okay.
This one wobbles. I always meant to do something about that, but somehow never got around to it. This used to be her favorite spot. She used to sit here, put her legs on the table, lean back, and just give me one of her smiles. Those effervescent, incandescent smiles. Once we dragged these chairs out to the lake and scrubbed off all the dust and grime of years. That was a long time ago. For all the charm of furniture like this, something about it reminds me of Ingmar Bergman. Sort of brooding. One of a matching pair, obviously. There was a piece of gum stuck to the underside of this chair back when we bought this place. We just left it there. For all the charm of furniture like this, something about it reminds me of Ingmar Bergman.
Was ist das denn? Das sieht ein bisschen verstörend aus.
Brooding.
Also das hätte ich wahrscheinlich abgehangen, ganz ehrlich.
No, I don't want to leave right now. There's still something for me in here. I could tell plenty of stories about this table. To be honest, I'm surprised it's still in one piece. The dining table was well worn even when we acquired the cabin. You could tell from its appearance that it had been the centerpiece of many... Come, love, with peace in your heart, said Niamh of the ice-blue eyes. Blue eyes.
Okay, ride with me. Shed your mortal guise. Here's our mount, is no wet mare. Come, Oisin, to my gardens fair. In the land of youth, ply your art. Ours shall be the cycle of days. Ours sun and sky and rainbow ways, okay?
It's based on an Irish folktale. Warrior poet Oisin goes to Tirnanog, a Celtic otherworld known as the Land of Youth and Promise. Niamh is of the Fey folk, the fair ones, fairies. Weird mix of doggerel and artistry. The elemental imagery is evocative, but the language and structure are a bit quaint. Still, some lines jump out at you. I've always been drawn to things that are kind of both good and bad at the same time. Maybe because that's so like life. My grandma introduced me to these old legends when I was just a kid, in between stories of what she could still remember of her childhood in the old country.
Okay.
Weird mix of doggerel and artistry. The elemental imagery is evocative. Something draws me to this trunk. Is it the memories locked within? Or something else? We use this trunk to store trinkets and papers, but I can't help thinking there's something of importance inside. It's too painful. I want to, but not yet. We found this trunk at a flea market. We used to love rummaging around those in our early years. Big enough for a lifetime of mementos. We hated guns, so we never had any, even out here. But this would have been a good place to keep one, since it can be locked. We found this trunk at a flea market. Big enough for a lifetime of mementos. our refuge from the world, a place of warmth and passion. Sometimes we joked we needed to be so far out in the woods because that's how our sex life was, far out.
Okay.
The furniture came with the cabin, but the bedclothes we brought with us. A place like this needs some luxury, but without her, there are no monsters under the bed. I guess they're all in my head. I feel too restless to sleep right now. I don't sleep well without Serena next to me. Both a blessing and a curse, I suppose. There are no monsters under the bed.
Okay.
I guess they're all in my head. Quite a large armoire for our admittedly Spartan needs. She uses most of it. We all have our skeletons in the closet, but not Serena. She was perfect. I'm not sure why, but I don't feel like opening it. The sole thought of it drains what little energy I have left in me. Maybe later. There's nothing of interest inside the closet anyway. I'm a casual dresser. No need to change clothes right now. Don't think Serena would approve of me making an even bigger mess of the clothes in here. Maybe later. There's nothing of interest inside the closet anyway.
Die Aufnahmen? Ah. Okay.
She made this with her own hands. She was really good.
Look what I made, hun, in case we ever need to sweep something under the carpet. See the pattern of yellow squares? It's from this rug I remembered from my nursery. I must have been like 3 or 4, but it always stuck with me.
No trap door under there, just more creaky floor. I always resisted the temptation to sweep things under there when it was my turn to tidy up.
The rug's all crooked again. Can you help me straighten it out?
No trap door under there, just more creaky floor. She adored all things of nature. I remember her long walks out in the woods. Curiously, we never brought many plants inside the cabin. We were surrounded by so many outside, I guess we were saturated by them. At least I was. Maybe I should have let her bring some plants inside. She liked them a lot. A plant is a plant. Beautiful to some, boring to others. They say these things are alive. If they are, it must be a horrible existence, confined in their own silent, dark world. We have much more interesting things than
sehr
this plant
darkes
inside the
Denken.
cabin. Like my books. A plant is a plant. She is fairly religious. Not me. I'm a cold and cynical bastard. But I don't remember that ever being an issue between us. She always thought our relationship was a blessing. God, how I miss her. No longer the cynical asshole, I guess. Her faith came as a surprise to me. She was never prudish about sex, so I just didn't expect it. I guess people simply aren't that predictable. No, I don't want to read right now. Especially not a Bible. I have no need for the words in there. I don't feel like being admonished by a deity right now. No, I don't want to read right now. Especially not a Bible.
Okay. Ein Traumfänger, süß. Da hängt da was dran, ne? So. Können wir da hingehen? Boah, das geht gar nicht.
There's a strand of blonde hair in the comb. Yes, blonde hair like sun rays. I'm remembering. What's wrong with my memory? Did I have a stroke? She also had a brush, but I can't see it anywhere. Nor some of her other personal items. It's just a regular comb bought from a supermarket. new enough to still have all its teeth. She also had a brush, hers. I used it too, when shaving. There's only an outhouse, and for some reason, whoever erected the rickety thing didn't think to include wall-to-wall mirrors. So, this came in handy. Should I dust for fingerprints? I might if I were in a detective story.
Okay.
After all these years, it permanently smells of her and her perfume. The last thing I need now is to see myself in the mirror. I must look awful. There's dust on this, too. It's everywhere. After all these years, it permanently smells of her and her perfume.
Mal, was wir hier noch haben.
They prevent my blood pressure from skyrocketing. Doctor's orders. And Serena's. I'm generally not fond of taking medication. I find it hard to believe ingesting a few chemicals will do me much good in the long run.
Don't forget your pill, hun. I know you'd rather not, but you know it's for the best.
Beta blockers. I have high blood pressure.
Beta-Blocker sind doch nicht gegen hohen Blutdruck. Beta-Blocker sind doch gegen Herzrhythmusstörungen. Ich habe selber mal welche genommen. Ich bin ein bisschen verwirrt gerade, okay. Ich finde es aber super, ne, dass das hier alles gevoiced ist. Ich finde das mega interessant. Das ist wie so eine spielbare Story für mich. Voll toll.
I'm only supposed to take these before meals. Not a big fan of them. They do tend to alleviate my headaches, though.
Oh, der hat noch was Neues gesagt.
Beta blockers. I have high blood pressure. I'm only supposed to take... Not a big fan. Beta blockers. I have high blood pressure.
Okay, das fängt er dann nochmal an zu zählen, das gleiche.
These keys are for the cabin and the car.
Aha.
If the keys are here, does she have her spare? I should probably stay here in case she doesn't. Did she even have her own spare? We also have a key for the outhouse, but can't be bothered to keep it anywhere other than under that rock next to the thing. No one comes here anyway. We did have a night prowler once who left a mark inside the outhouse, but we rarely lock it anyway. I never noticed it before, but there's some rust on the ring. Should get a new one. We also have a key for the outhouse,